Hey guys, this is going to be my October wrap up. I have filmed this so many times, and every time I film it, I am not happy with it, and I don't know why. I feel like I'm rambling, and then I've done individual reviews of some of these books so that I could talk more about them, and in those, I'm definitely rambling. So I don't really know how to talk about these to my own satisfaction, so I'm just going to try to be really quick, and if you guys want more detail, let me know. I read Death of a Gossip by M.C. Beaton, and I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I picked it up because of how much I adore the TV series. Like, I love it. I have watched several episodes multiple times. Robert Carlyle is brilliant. That's really all there is to it. I love it. So I picked up the book, and luckily I liked Hamish as much in the book, or practically as much in the book as I do in the TV series. And I really liked M.C. Beaton's descriptions of the village of Loch Dew and the people and everyday life there. And I also really loved her creativity when it came to the murder itself and who the murderer was and the motive. I thought that was incredibly well done because I hopped around from thinking who the murderer was, like, oh, it's this person because of this or this person because of this, throughout the entire book. And when it finally was revealed who the murderer was and why, I had suspected this person for maybe like two minutes in the middle somewhere, but I couldn't come up with a good enough motive for why they would do it. So then when it turned out to be them, the motive was just so good and creative because I did not see it coming at all, and I thought that was great. So yeah, those are the reasons why I liked it. But it lagged a little bit. There were characters who I really, really didn't like, and I unfortunately am one of those people where if I don't like the majority of the characters in a book, I have a hard time liking the book itself. But luckily, as I said, the mystery and my love of the main character and some of the side main characters, and the writing was great enough that it kind of took over my dislike of several of the characters in here. And it could be that she did it on purpose because a lot of these characters are supposed to be suspected for murder, so I figured maybe that's why she made them unlikable. I don't know. So yeah. Oh, and then the other thing that bothered me is that 3 out of the 5 or 6 people who permanently live in the village who we meet in the book don't like Hamish, and that really bothered me because in the TV series, I don't know why I can't talk today, he is very well liked in the village, and people, he likes people, and people like him, and the village seems like this really big, semi-dysfunctional, adorable family, rather than, in the book, I'm just like, okay, why do 3 different people not like Hamish? One of them is understandable, because it's the Colonel, and Hamish likes the Colonel's daughter, and the Colonel thinks that Hamish is, beneath his daughter or whatever. I don't know, she needs to marry someone of their class, or, I don't know, that really bothered me. But, yeah, so overall, I enjoyed it, and I will definitely be continuing with these, but I have to say I do like the show better. But yeah, 3.5 out of 5 stars, and if you love the show, try the book, or if you just want to get into a mystery book series without even paying attention to the TV series, try this one. And sorry about the planes. And then the other one that I have to show you guys is Scarlet Pimpernel by Baroness Orczy. I liked this. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought the writing was gorgeous. The descriptions were magnificent. I thought the characters were all really well crafted. The villain was slimy and creepy, which is just awesome. It's like perfect. And this very much, sorry guys, that was my TV. This very much reminded me of a soap opera if it took place during the Reign of Terror, which was just great. Like, I loved that. I'm really sorry, you guys. I don't know how to edit out the sounds, so my bad. I'm sorry. Anyway, so yeah, I just really liked that this was basically written just so dramatically. My two issues with it were one of the characters' feelings. I can't say who or why because it will give away a major plot point of the story, but one of the characters' feelings in this really didn't seem genuine to me. It seemed more like hero worship rather than legitimate love and feeling. So, yeah. And the other thing was, it gets really prejudiced about halfway through. It gets very prejudiced towards Jewish people and Judaism, and that really bothered me a lot. And I think it was probably just the author trying to reflect the religious tension of the time, but it was still really bothersome. But I mean, that could have just been me, I don't know. But yeah, that was eh. So that's why it got knocked down another half a star. So overall, 4 out of 5 stars, because I did really love the characters and the writing and the setting and the soap opera-ish feel to it. But I just had those two issues. And I'm sorry I couldn't expand more on the character feelings one, but it would give away a very important plot point if I said that. But yes, and I'm probably going to try to watch an adaptation of this, but I started to the other night and I just wasn't digging it, so I might just stick with the web series that I'm currently watching, which is called Masked, and it's on YouTube, and I highly recommend it. And also, I believe they're readapting or making a new adaptation of Scarlet Pimpernel for TV, so that'll be fun. And the other... That's not what I was trying to do. The other 2 books that I have to show you guys, I unfortunately can't physically show you because they're already back in their box sets, but I reread Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which I love, and my only issue that I have pretty much every time I reread it has nothing to do with the book. It's more to do with the film once I rewatch the film after reading it, and that is every great, smart line that Ron has in the book, they give to Hermione in the film. And it really bothers me because honestly, it makes very little sense to me other than the fact that they just wanted to keep Hermione as like the smart one and make it so that Ron is just like the funny, not that smart one. And it really bothered me because in the book, when he says all these things, it makes so much more sense that he would know about it and Hermione wouldn't, because, for example, one of them is the whole mudblood thing, when Hermione gets called a mudblood, and she knows that it's bad, but she doesn't know why, and then Ron does know why. It's because that is a wizard world culture thing, and since she didn't grow up in the wizarding world, that isn't something she would be familiar with. Same with Harry. So it really bothered me that in the movie, Hermione's the one who's like, oh, it means this, and it's really offensive to me. And it's just like, I mean, you were offended because you didn't realize, like, you realized the tone was bad, but you didn't actually know what it meant. So that just bothered me that they gave all of Ron's smart lines to Hermione. And then I read Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I completely adored it. I loved it. I did a full review of it, which is like 20 minutes long. So go watch that if you want a cup of tea and maybe some dinner while you're watching a a video, not a film. And yeah, I loved it. And one thing that I will add here, I'm pretty sure I either give it like a 4.5 or 5 stars, and Harry Potter automatically gets 5 out of 5. But one thing I will add that I don't think I had time to talk about in the review is I listened to the greatest audio experience while I was reading it. It was a recording by Phil Dragash, and unfortunately those videos have now been taken down because he had like copyright infringement issues, unfortunately, because what he was doing was not copyrighted, unfortunately. Or I'll say Lord of the Rings was still copyrighted, so technically he wasn't allowed to do what he was doing. But it just made me so sad because it was so good. Because he did this whole audio production of all of the Lord of the Rings, and he narrated it himself. He did individual voices for each of the characters that were all excellent, but especially his one of Aragorn was just completely perfect. And he added in bits of the score from the films, and then he added in sound effects, and he just made this whole experience where I felt like I was sitting in a theater with my eyes closed, listening to a full cast production of the book. And it was so great. So then when it got taken down, I was really sad. And I'm torn because I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't be supporting this because it's like copyright infringement. But at the same time, he was so creative with it and he did such a good job. And it seemed like such a great labor of love for him that I was really mad at whoever turned him into the YouTube people, especially because it was up for like 5 years and I accidentally discovered it a little too late. But anyway, I'm gonna try to find them online to listen to Two Towers and Return of the King, and to make myself feel better about the whole copyright thing, I am going to also listen to the Rob Inglis ones at some point, because I really loved his narration of The Hobbit, because his audiobook is how I listen to The Hobbit, and that was really good. But yeah, I just really want to see these last two productions of Phil Dragash, and yeah, I don't know how you would find them now. I would assume you just Google Phil Dragash, Lord of the Rings, but I do highly recommend it because it was great. So yeah, that's everything I read, and I'm sorry I did get a little rambly during this, but I only read 4 things, but I enjoyed most of them. The thing that I enjoyed least was the Death But Gossip book, but I still really enjoyed that. And again, I'm sorry about the planes. There is unfortunately nothing I can do about that. But anyway, next up, I don't know if I'll be doing a November TBR at this point, because it is already the 5th. I think I will just do what I'm currently reading videos a lot, including the next one. So thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know what you think of anything that I have read, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.